really tired of the the current delusion that we're operating under. I was just in Jake's room and it was driving me crazy. I'm just tired of us trying to tell ourselves, that we're, experiencing this spiritual win and we're going to win in the long term. And my response to that is no. That's not guaranteed. It's not a given, especially when we have all of our legacy organizations, blatantly working against us. And here is this organization called the African Union. And the African Union 6 region, USA, is literally an organization working here in the United States on behalf of of, of African immigrants or the African diaspora. And so that's what I put up in the Jumbotron is a page from their website. And
masculinity and anti-democratic preoccupied. And it went on like that. At one point.
But I want to bring this to the forefront, this organization, the African Union, which has been around for some time, but I think it really got going in 2017. It's a union of 55 African nations, and they have a whole agenda, which is the African Union 2063 agenda. And I just want us to, I'm having a space later, I don't know if I have that, but just regarding this whole reparations, how this fight is shaping up. We saw Cori Bush and the usual suspects, Pan-Africanist suspects, making this, huge announcement about, reparations legislation, which no one can find. And, just the focus on the transatlantic slave trade, I think, is really hurting us. And the focus on reparations for slavery is actually detrimental to our end goal, which is reparations, and how we need to shift that focus from chattel enslavement and even the Jim Crow and all of that other stuff, and bring it into the forefront, and recognize that while we're waiting on these, trying to set up these commissions and waiting on, determinations every day in any city council or city across the country, our inheritance is being doled out to illegal immigrants. They're being housed, clothed, fed, and yet, we're over here talking about slavery, talking about people who are long gone and not placing any value on our lives here in present day. And that all works extremely well for the agenda of the immigrant population, and even more importantly, this whole African Union organization that is basically um, want to establish a foothold here in America and reconnect supposedly us to Africa, and basically funnel resources through us into that continent. And I just want people to get educated on this organization and really understand, how deep their tentacles are. This is where NARC and Ncobra's agenda is springing from. This is part of the whole movement, and Africans having these conferences over there in Ghana and shit, talking about how the world owes them $775 trillion, and they use that as a way to lobby and get money out of our government, completely leapfrogging over us. Now we saw Dr. Amos Brown in the middle of a reparations task force pick his ass up and fly over to Ghana, and then headlines of them giving them $50 million, and then out of the other side of his mouth talking about $5 million is ridiculous per person, etc. And if we look deeper, this is part of a whole agenda that's going on, and we need to recognize that. We want to tell ourselves that we're winning, that we're making progress. But the fact that they have just hijacked this whole reparations movement yesterday, that is the death knell. And people need to fucking realize this is whole reparations, commissions, and shit is just a distraction to keep us looking over here while they're stabbing us in the back and doling out our inheritance. Governor Newsom comes out after coming off of $100 million surplus in 2021. Everybody in California talking about giving out checks for this and that. 2022 comes, they have a $97.5 billion surplus. And everybody, Democrats, Newsom talking about $600 checks. Now here we are at the end of the task force, and all of a sudden there's no money. I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous that we continue to focus on things that happened in the past and be subjected to people telling us that slavery was global and this and that, while meanwhile we got every fucking statistic we need to prove that we are being genocided out of existence. We got proof here. And Cori Bush said it herself, who, by the way, Cori Bush's mother is not a Negro. We got her out here talking about fighting for reparations for people of African descent and Africans in America. That is specific languaging that is coming from this organization. And we need to understand you cannot fight to win if you don't even fucking know you're losing. If you don't even understand your vulnerabilities. All this bullshit Negro sunshine, it's not helping us. We are not winning. And we need to fight like we're not winning. We need to fight like we are being fucking genocided out of existence.